Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the mid-June love check-in for the sign Sagittarius, alright? My lovely Saggies, hope you're doing good. I'm a fellow Sagittarius myself, so this is for my brothers and sisters out there. You guys have been having some pretty interesting readings over the last few months. You know, a lot of positivity culminating in abundance and love, right? So we're just going to check out where you're at for this mid-June period, Sagittarius. Give me a clear answer. Give me 2 cards, Sagittarius, and their possible mate. 2 cards, 2 clean cards. Show me. Alright, Sagittarius, your first card is This Could Be the One. And engagement. Wow. Alright, so your love life is ascending, right? To a higher level of commitment. Past life relationships. Again. So this has been coming out a lot lately for you. Like this next love affair that you're about to engage in, or perhaps that you've newly gotten involved in, seems to be the one. This has been coming out for a while now in a lot of readings. So it could be certainly that this whole entire period is a period for a lot of you, Sagittarius, to be bringing in that relationship, right? That deep relationship. So let's see what your cards say, Sagittarius. Mid-June. Show me. Show me. All right, Sagittarius, let's pull your cards out. See what's going on for you this mid-June. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, Page of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, Queen of Swords coming out, 2 of Cups, there's the love, 5 of Wands, and Queen of Wands. Interesting. Here we go. At the bottom, you've got the World. The World. So, World talks about seeing the bigger picture, right? Not looking from at the minutia, but looking at the big picture, not getting caught up in the details necessarily. You know, looking at your life path as a whole instead of segments. You know, sometimes we get caught up in segments instead of looking at the whole. You know, when you look at a 5-year period, you know, sometimes it can seem like a long period, right? But if you look at it as a segment on a, let's say, 70-year lifespan, it's a very small period, right? So it's all about perspective. And the World card talks about getting perspective in your life and in how you see yourself and your path. So 3 of Pentacles, Sagittarius, people are recognizing you for your work, right? You're getting accolades, you're getting attention, some notoriety. People are going to start asking you for you know, whatever field you're in, they're going to start to ask you for your services. They may call upon you to do craft work or to do a service, or they may ask for you at a company out of everyone else because they like your work. You are being sought out specifically for the quality of your work, for the craftsmanship, for the experience that you've displayed, and you've worked hard for that, Sagittarius. You've earned that. There has been a lot of disappointment in love, right? 3 of Swords, but it's not so much heartbreak, like, you know, like you were necessarily so in love with these people, but it's more just like miscommunication, relationships that just don't seem to work out because you're not like-minded, you're not of the same ilk, you're not really the same person. You thought you were, but you're really not. There's third-party energy. A lot of it has been dealing with people who haven't been honest necessarily You know, it's a lot of swords energy, air energy, mental, you know, a lot of talking, back talk, backstabbing, gossiping, being duplicitous, being deceptive, you know, that type of interference in a relationship where it breaks down, but not necessarily like a broken heart. I think that, you know, you're still kind of coming out of perhaps past issues of that, Sagittarius. And it's like in your mind, right? Because right now it's all about work for you, Sagittarius. It's interesting. Threes do talk about bonding and loyalty, but they also talk about going past the point of no return. And I think you are kind of past a certain point of like not dealing with certain kind of relationships. Page of Wand comes in. That's an offer, an opportunity. Somebody wants to, you know, either someone or an opportunity for a new project. Um, or this could be news on a project that's already underway coming in. It's an update, you know. Someone could it could be a letter, it could be a meeting with someone. um it's going to be quite significant. It'll be perhaps, like I said, on something you're already working on. You're really looking back right now. It's interesting because the only other card about love is the Two of Cups at the bottom. We'll get to that. But you're really about your money right now, Sagittarius. You know, you're looking back now at what you've got, right? What you've worked for and the fruits of your labor, and I think you're reassessing. Seven of Pentacles has come out a lot recently, talking about seven being about, you know, goals and wishes and dreams and fulfilling those dreams, surprises that come in on the path towards our goals, right? But it's also the Seven of Pentacles talks about reevaluating, you know, what we've accomplished so far. Are you happy with it? You know, is this really the life you want? Is this really the career you want? Or do you want something different? Perhaps all this while you felt you wanted to do this and now you realize, you know, this is the card of disillusionment sometimes when you've been following a certain path for a while and you realize it's not your path. Or you realize this is not really what you want to do. Or it's not, you know, you don't really have that for that. You really want to do something else, right? So it talks about realigning your vision. There's been some hollow victory someone's trying to get at your expense, Sagittarius, recently, and it's felt quite upsetting. Um, they've been very deceptive. You know, this five being power struggles. You've got two fives. There's been a lot of power struggles. A lot of people have been really like using a lot of nasty tactics. Again, you know, towards you, Sagittarius, recently, especially if you're dealing with any kind of group or issue, work issue perhaps, or issue on a project, or, you know, any kind of group dynamic or dynamic of communicating with others, right? On some goal, right? There's been a lot of deception, a lot of lying, and it's kind of been like victimized you, right? And I think that's another reason why you're looking back now on this. You're looking back on what you're doing because it's like you're not quite sure if you want to stick with it, Sagittarius. You know, it's like one of those scenarios like, do I want to keep plugging away at this job if I have to keep dealing with these kind of energies? You know what I mean? It could be that you're working in a field, or you're working in an office, or you're working somewhere in an environment, or you're focused in some way in an environment, and it's just like negative energy. You just realize you're not sure if you even want to be there anymore, working or in that environment. Queen of Swords comes in talking. Queen of Swords comes in when it's time to be honest with yourself, when it's time to face yourself and face who you are, right? Face up to who perhaps you've been trying to be and who you really are. The Queen of Swords sometimes could be someone that you're coming up against who demands honesty from you, but a lot of times she comes in when it's required for you to be honest with yourself. You know, I find that this card comes in very much when there's a lot of shadow work that needs to be done. Not so much when you're seeking out the Queen of Swords or she's coming in for you, but more or less that you need to be embodying this energy and kind of like, you know, looking in the mirror and facing up to your disappointments, facing up to any kind of patterns, right? Or ways of seeing yourself that aren't really true, right? Talks about stripping away the mask that we put on for society, the mask that we put on for family, for friends, for lovers, for anyone. It's like when we put on a certain mask and try to hide who we really are because perhaps we don't feel like we're enough or whatever reason it is, we all are guilty of it at some point in our lives. And Queen of Swords comes through, and that energy is like you've had enough of that, where you're coming through. It's a breakthrough. It's a time to release those masks. But as a result, also, you then require others around you to be just as honest. It's a turning point card that comes in when you not only see yourself for who you are, but you also require others who come towards you to be as honest as you've been with yourself. You understand how hard it is, but you're not taking any prisoners anymore. You're no longer willing to tolerate others who are perhaps false or duplicitous. You become way more discerning in your relationships, And then, of course, here, right after that, after, culminating that energy in yourself, Sagittarius, this is when Two of Cups comes in. And why? Because now you're ready. Now you're ready for this person to come in, for the right love to come in. I do talk about that a lot in my readings because a lot of the readings I do on love, quite interestingly enough, many times people ask quite specific questions about the other person. What is the other person doing? What does the other person feel? Do they really love me? Don't they really love me? Are they cheating on me? And it's like, a lot of times, they very much would love for those answers to come out quite direct in the reading. But I find oftentimes that when I'm doing a love reading about calling in love, most times than not, before the love is there, unless I'm reading for someone who's already come at the end of a long path or some shadow work, right? There's always a message to do with your own self-development. There always seems to be stages that you just have to go through before this Two of Cups or this love can possibly come in for you. And it's like, you just have to put the work in, if you want that. You just can't cut corners with it, You can't be told, listen, you're going to meet somebody and they're going to be really exciting. It's all going to work. It just doesn't work like that, These readings talk about possibilities, but you still have, self-will. You have will. You have, self-will. You have the ability to make a choice, right? A decision, right? And so your decisions are what can change a reading. It can literally, I was telling a subscriber, I was doing a reading, I was telling a private reading where I was telling the client that, depending on how you follow your path, it's almost as if the cards can be completely thrown up in the air and land completely differently. Totally different cards landing. Right? This is not something that's set in stone. Readings are very fluid. The energies are very fluid, and they depend greatly on how you approach it. This work right now that you're doing, Sagittarius, is necessary for you to be able to have the right relationship, to be able to bring in the kind of relationship that ascends to engagement, that could be the one that stands the test of time. The one that is completely like a union of two. A lot of people think twos are about choices. Twos are about balance, not choices. In a relationship, there is no choice of one over the other. There is a balance between the two. So really, the truth of the matter is, the true meaning, deeper meaning of twos is balance. Finding balance, finding a way to have respect for each other, to balance both sides of ourselves, to find equal room for each of us in the relationship equally and in a harmonious way. It's duality, right? Two singles coming together, it's two ones coming together, literally. It's not a choice of one above the other. It's literally the balance of two coming together that creates the unity of a real relationship. And so that's what that's all about. But you can't have balance with somebody else unless you do this shadow work. You you're only going to mirror the level that you're at. If you don't do the hard work, you will only ever mirror someone who is at your own level. And if your level isn't elevated, if you haven't taken the time to put into it, then you will mirror and attract a person who's also not elevated or taking the time to put into it, or put the amount of time they needed to into it. So this is what I'm saying, Sagittarius, right now. You're about your craft, your money. You're about, getting away from negative energy, reevaluating your career choices, reevaluating who you are and what you show the world of yourself. The love is going to come in, and then here comes the Five of Wands that seems to always poke its head up towards the end of any reading where someone is doing self-improvement. And this is the bickering and the quarreling and the jealousy of others that seems to come along. You've already have to deal with some people. Certainly this period right now is going to be a little bit, this mid-June, I think it'll be a little bit more difficult because you're kind of dealing with, like I said, some kind of, a lot of deceptive energy. But that win, whenever anybody wins like that, it's an empty victory. It doesn't last long. It's about power struggle. You realize the power is not gained like that. Power isn't gained like that. Same thing with Five of Wands. Any kind of arguing or jealousy that may come your way, you can just, how you handle that? You handle that with Queen of Wands energy. Queen of Wands completely dismisses that. She transcends that. She doesn't even pay attention. And this card, generally, I say this a lot in my other readings, it will come up, like I say, a lot of times it represents the haters in your life who just aren't going to be happy with the fact that you still have found your pot of gold. No matter how difficult they tried to make it for you, you still come out on top. And you will. It infuriates some people, if they if they try to throw a monkey wrench in your plans and try to make it, try to squash your vision or your goals or take away your legitimate victories, right? And then you remain victorious and unscathed. It can really drive people crazy, because truly what they want is power over you. And if you show them that they have none, then that is, that's the worst thing that could happen, right, for them. And power go, you have control over what has power over you. You choose to allow things to either control you or upset you or not. And I know it's not that easy as that, but it is still a choice, nevertheless. Just because it isn't easy doesn't change the fact that it is a choice, They're not mutually exclusive. Alright, so give me one more shuffle, and then let's get some clarity on these cards for our lovely Sagittarius. Brothers and sisters out there in the area of love for mid-June. Universe right there, boom. The Priestess, Knight of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Two of Wands, interesting, Dominion, Four of Cups, the Tower, Three of Swords, yep, somebody's butt hurt, and the Hierophant. Bottom of the deck is Princess of Discs. Yeah, that's it. Princess of Discs is all about sowing her garden, sowing seeds, sowing seeds that will prosper for her later. She's about her coin, right? She's not quite the Queen of Discs yet. She hasn't quite manifested that beautiful garden, but she's on the road to it, and she knows what it takes. She knows how much work it takes, right? She's grounded. Princess is earth energy, like the page is earth energy. Discs is earth energy. It's the earthy of the earthy, so it's totally grounded energy. Like tangible work, work that and payoffs that you can see in a real tangible way, right? But yeah, this is it, right? Seeing yourself here is the universe, which is similar to the World card here in the traditional deck, the universe and the thought deck. So this comes in to clarify, your Three of Pentacles, and that's it. It's like you're seeing the broader picture now, Sagittarius. Whatever you're working on now, whatever you're embarking on, whatever career you're doing or art you're doing or service you're producing that people are seeking you out for, it's what you were always meant to do. The universe, it's what you were meant to do. It's your path. The universe is coming out as a card to reaffirm that, right? This is where you were meant to be. This is the sweet spot for you, and it's only going to get better for you. Looking at the broader picture, there may have been times in your life that you didn't know where your spot was, or perhaps you thought it was somewhere else, but you are certainly in it now. High Priestess is in, yeah. So your intuition is really highly tuned right now, right? And you're just all about your spiritual right now. You really don't have time for pettiness in relationships or duplicitousness. You're looking for something certainly that's a deeper relationship, that's a spiritual relationship. And right now, your spiritual path is enough. It really is enough for you right now. You do kind of feel like you're on a spiritual high right now, Sagittarius, because so many things are changing in so many different ways for you. And, you know, the heartaches of before, I believe, are seeming quite distant because now you're just feeling so much more confident in your own spirit, right? You know you have so much more to offer, and you know you deserve so much more, but you really know it. You really feel it, you know, and you have that real sense of self-esteem. There's a difference between feeling it and being able to consciously say, yes, I know I'm worth something, you know. We all say that, but once you begin to really feel that, that's a whole different level, you know. Page of Wands with the Knight of Wands. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of, you know, activity on a project. A lot of motion, a lot of forward progression coming in. It may start off small as a Page of Wands, as a trickle, but it's going to pick up. This could be the picking up of a business, you know, the ball rolling in a career, right? So it's like it starts with one little thing, and it certainly goes on, you know, to be something quite spectacular for you, Sagittarius, quite powerful, quite passionate, with a lot of forward momentum. And in comes the Ten of Coins. So yeah, you're looking back and you're realigning your vision, your goals, right? You're reevaluating, and you're looking towards abundance now. What you're looking towards is going to bring you more than what you've had before. It's going to bring you 10 of Coins. Certainly what you're on to up here, whatever service you're on to now, whatever product, service, craft, or talent that people are seeking you out for is what's going to bring you this 10 of Coins. And it's kind of realignment. You're now kind of realigning your goals toward a path that's going to bring you true abundance. Perhaps before you thought you were on the path, but now that you're realigning yourself to what you really want to do, it's really going to come in for you. And yeah, it's been a battle. Two of Wands over that Five of Swords. Two of Wands talks about wanting to, like, you know, sow seeds for your own kind of like dominion, right? You're staking your own land, your own claim, your own identity. This is my, you know, your own kind of, this is my little square, right? This is who I am. It's Mars and Aries energy. It's, you know, it's right after the inspiration of the Ace of Wands. Now you want to progress forward with the two of Wands in terms of manifesting that inspiration. And you won't let anything stop you. And this Five of Swords, this kind of bullshit, whatever you've been going through with people, like, you know, either cheating or lying or winning or somehow, you know, trying to make you a victim by, you know, using underhanded tactics, it's just not going to work. You're going to push forward. You're pushing forward with your inspiration, Sagittarius. So you're going to come out victorious. Queen of Swords, yeah. Four of Cups has come over Queen of Swords. So Four of Cups talks about, yeah, it talks about empty relationships. You know, wanting more stability in your relationships. And that's where the Queen of Swords energy comes from. Like I said before, it's like you just had enough of fake. You had enough of, you know, and this is what happens, right? So this is what I was saying earlier about Queen of Swords, you know, how important it is, the energy behind it, you know, when she comes up because it's an internal kind of battle we've waged, right? Like I said, we all kind of put masks on. And I'm not saying that we're all liars about who we are. That's not what I mean to say. But what I mean to say is that we don't ever lay all of our cards on the table. I don't know anybody who lays all their cards on the table, right? You meet somebody, you tell them everything that's ever happened to you. You tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, you know, that, you know, you hold back information, right? Now, you may not necessarily be lying about who you are, but you don't reveal quite everything, right? And perhaps then that can bleed into kind of, sometimes you may, you know, exaggerate how much you like one thing or another thing because your partner does, or because somebody you have a crush on does. You know, maybe you don't really like going to sports all the time, but somebody you like does. So you pretend that you like it. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing, right? Or if you have a lady friend and she really likes to go to art every Fridays and you pretend like you're into it because, you know, so it's not really like you're lying about the worst thing in the world, but you're not being completely true to who you are. You're not being totally honest about who you are. And a lot of times that leads to Four of Cups, which are really kind of like empty relationships, shallow relationships. You know, you think it's only a little bit. You think you're only compromising a little bit to make someone happy, but it festers away, you know, and you realize that it's just never allows you to go deeper, you know, because any kind of not being true to yourself in some way is going to take away from how deep you can possibly go, right? If you're not deeply showing who you are, how can you go deeply into a relationship? And so that's like, that's why the Four of Cups will come out to clarify the need for a Queen of Swords energy. Because do you really want to continue to have Four of Cups relationships, right? Or are you prepared to be taking away the mask? Because here you go, here's the Tower moment with the Two of Cups as a result. And a Tower moment coming in because of, you know, perhaps a lot of this shadow work, this dropping of the mask and this really being who you are, right? And not settling for less, right? Not settling for empty cups, more empty cups, looking for more stability in your relationships. Bam, here comes the Tower. And then out of nowhere, I bet you it's more like going to be out of nowhere this person comes in, right? Probably, if you haven't already met them, they may come in the most unexpected ways. And of course, the Tower is not only that they come in an unexpected way, but the Tower is a powerful card. Your whole life changes now. Everything changes as a result. In a positive way, I believe, right? I do believe it's positive. With the Princess of Discs, right? And the Queen of Wands here, the Ten of Discs, the universe, it all points to you being on your path for abundance and for love. But there's certainly going to be a shift, a change, a transformation in your life and how you go forward with it as a result of coming together with this person. And like I said, it's interesting because in the last reading, I think it was either this card or one of the other, it might have been a Cups card, but anyway, for one of my readings, it came up this, the Three of Swords, right? So just jealousy, you know, this bickering. Somebody's gonna be, you know, somebody's a little bit pissed off. Somebody's gonna be pissed off that you're over here with this person. They're gonna be a little bit hurt and feel a bit betrayed, right? It could be just that they're jealous, right? Could be somebody you were with before, right? Who didn't want to be bothered. Because this is Three of Swords, remember? You have Three of Swords up here. It's Three of Swords showing up again. So up here, Three of Swords is showing up because it's like on your mind, right? Here, it's showing up in relation to the people in your life who are kind of throwing shade, right? And throwing negative energy, right? So it's those. So it could be that somebody you were dealing with in the past who perhaps was causing you a little bit of heartache. Now they're going to have the heartache as a result of you moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going to feel kind of left out, feel kind of betrayed, feel kind of like, oh shit, you know. She or he, Sagittarius, has moved on now, right? They've moved on. They've risen. They've transformed, right? They found a new love coming in. Their whole life has changed for the better, right? And they're leaving me in the dust, you know? And I feel very kind of like this kind of butthurt energy, like, oh shit, like somebody feels like they either fucked up, or they feel jealous or upset that, you know, they see it as if, they see almost as if like you got your shit together like too late. Like you got your Sagittarius, you got your shit together and you got everything going on, you know, after your relationship with them, right? And they feel kind of like you know, you were supposed to do that with them. You know, perhaps you were supposed to pick them. And so rather than be happy for you, right, they're being like jealous, argumentative. You know, it could even be a friend or somebody you know that you didn't even know had feelings for you, who just suddenly changes and is pissy, you know, because you're moving forward with your life. And again, here comes Hierophant out to clarify the Queen of Wands. Yeah, after this transformation of you getting back to your fire energy, Sagittarius, it's the Hierophant is there to reaffirm who you are, your commitment to your own beliefs. You know, it's a reaffirmation of what you always believed to be true. Your belief in karma, your belief in, you know, ultimately good karma pays good karma and bad karma pays, you know, bad karma. And I think that all becomes reaffirmed for you as you come through this period and you finally kind of see, you know what I mean, that your karmic cycle is closing in a positive way. You're coming through as Queen of Wands, which is very transformative. She's survived. She's made it. She's empathetic to others, but she's cautious. She's completely in touch with herself. She's completely in touch with her intuition. You see the black cat there to signify that she's totally in touch with the occult and the darker sides of life, mysticism. She understands those and she uses them well. But it's all come at the price of having had a lot of trials and tribulations, right? And coming through that has only reaffirmed her faith. Whatever your faith is, Sagittarius, you know, whatever your faith is, right? It's just a reaffirmation that comes through and that makes you stronger because you're stronger. Okay? So, I'm going to leave it at that, Sagittarius. You've got a good month, a mid-month coming on. You've got some really good abundance coming in. I love a tyrant moment because they're always exciting. Just keep pressing forward, you know. Sometimes it's one step backwards, one step forward, two steps backwards, you know. And then you hope to get two steps forward and only one step backwards, so you're back in forward motion, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, sometimes there's a little dip, and I feel like right now the center bit is a little dip. I do feel like you're taking it on the chin a little bit with whatever this is that's going on, with whoever has kind of tried to interfere with your victory or taking your victory away. But trust me, Sagittarius, press forward. Because something so beautiful is coming for you that's so much better for you, and it's so much more in tune with you, with who you are, your talents. And by the way, this may be coming or has come, but the seeds you've sown here already began months before. All right, so the ball is already in motion for your abundance and for your increase in notoriety. That's already in motion, even though now this is coming to try to like knock you off, right? It can't really, because you've already set the true ball of what you really should be doing with your life that's going to bring the real abundance. You've already set that ball in motion, right? So don't let this kind of like rock your boat too much. Hold steady, hold fast. Things will come in. All right, they will come in, and you will reap the rewards, and the love will come in certainly. Once you get through this Lovers and Tower, wow, it's going to be a very passionate moment. It's really going to rock you, Sagittarius, and perhaps that's why this could be the one. And past life relationships, because it isn't like any flighty cards have shown up. You haven't had a lot of cards to do with love. This is, like I say, mostly shadow work. But for Two of Cups and the Tower to come through, That's a powerful love. So I'm curious. We'll see what happens, Sagittarius. But for right now, if this resonates with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell, so you can get notified of all my videos, not just some of them. And for right now, to all my Sagittarius brothers and sisters out there, I love you so, so much. Have a wonderful mid-June. Bye-bye.